Hi. Shipping your car for the first time? Don't worry. It's easier than you think. And I'm going to walk you through every single step so you don't get ripped off or stressed out. Stick around, and by the end, you'll have a good overview of what happens during a transport. Hi. I'm Michael B. Jordan. I wish. Just kidding. I'm James Phillips. My name's Jim, and I work in the auto transport business here in South Florida. I've helped hundreds of people ship their cars all around the country without headaches, and now I'm sharing the real process on this channel. No BS, no sales pitch. If you're moving, buying a car, or just need your ride somewhere else, this is for you. So let's dive in. Step 1, you're going to have to get some quotes. At the very minimum, you should have your VIN number of the car you want to transport, the source zip code, zip code where it's going to go from, and then the zip code where it's going to go to. You can go out on the internet and type in auto transport, and you're going to get thousands well, at the top, the first thing you're going to find is who paid the most on Google Ads. Not necessarily the best transport company, but they paid the most, so they show you first. But as you browse around, you'll see there's tons of instant quote pages, and people want you to send you your phone number and email, and really watch out, because once they get that, they're going to hound you to death. So watch this video before you start. But the first step is get some quotes. Okay. Step number 2. They're going to want to know, you're going to have to decide whether you want to open transport or enclosed transport. That's your next step. Everybody wants a closed transport because it's protected from the elements. And everybody thinks that their car is a Rolls Royce. Hey, it's my car, right? It's beautiful. I picked it out. In a lot of cases. But open transport is going to be a lot cheaper. So, a lot cheaper. To get your car shipped and closed, it's going to be about 30 to 50% more. And therefore, 99 out of 100 people wind up choosing an open transport. Most everyday cars go that way, no problem. No damage or whatever, and it's insured by the carrier anyway. So that's why you want to get pictures beforehand. When I work with someone, I'm going to send them a bill of lading, an online dynamic bill of lading, which will show the before and after pictures, because I require those of my carriers to take pictures. So I wouldn't recommend an enclosed unless you want to pay more, or something like a luxury ride, or classics for people that hey, it's worth it to them. 30% more. All right. So we're finally got quotes, and we're ready to ship our car. What are we going to do? That's step 3. So this is advisable when prepping your car before the driver gets there, before the pickup date. You want to wash the car inside and out so you can spot any scratches. Get all your personal stuff out of the car because your insurance will not pay for that. So you might as well get it out of there now. Fill the tank. Only it's a quarter of a tank because carriers get paid, have to pay depending on how heavy their load is. So they're not happy when you have a full tank of gas. Gas is heavy. Then you want to disable all your alarms. And you want to take at least 20 pictures of the car from every single angle. And again, when I use carriers, they're going to take pictures when they get there, and they're going to take pictures at the end for their purposes, but you take them for your purposes, just to make sure, because that's your proof. In case, in the rare case that something happens and you do have to make a claim. Finally, pickup day arrives, and you get to meet your driver and the equipment that he's going to bring. They're going to show up, and you want to make sure that he has what's called a bill of lading form. That will have the pickup address, the drop-off address, your VIN number of your car. You definitely want them to have that document. That's the legal document they have to have. And if they don't have it, contact your company that you hired. In my case, you can contact me, who will stay with you through the whole process from quote to delivery. Single point of contact. I'm going to drill that in. You would call me and we would straighten that out. If he does have a bill of lading, again, walk around, together and note every dent and scratch. He should be taking 50 or more pictures. If he's not taking pictures, that's another thing to question. He should be taking pictures. My guys would be taking pictures to cover them and to cover you. So you're going to walk around the car with the bill of lading, and he's going to mark all the marks, and you're all going to be taking pictures, and eventually he's going to have you, sign here on the dotted line saying, everything's cool. You're going to hand over the keys and get a copy of this bill of lading, and you want that because that paper is your contract and your damage report. All right. The next step is after pickup day. Driver's going to drive off with your car, and that's when you start getting nervous. But everybody does. Don't worry about it. Every customer gets nervous. So far, though, if you have a single point of contact with your company, they're going to ensure you. They'll assure you that everything's fine. Like I said, in my case, I'm going to send you a dynamic bill of lading, which shows all the before pictures, after pictures, which brings us to the next step, which is step 5, which also would be on the dynamic bill of lading, is tracking your shipment. It's nice to be able to track your where your vehicle is in real time, and good companies like myself will let you check online, usually in the dynamic bill of lading or by phone. The only problem is this requires compliance by the actual carrier. He has to keep his app on, and to be honest with you, they don't always keep their app on. They turn it on maybe for pickups and deliveries, and then they shut the app off. So the dispatch, we don't always get the real time GPS data. Plus, I don't think drivers, you might be this way too, some don't want to be micromanaged, maybe, who knows what they're doing. They have a date to pick up and a date to deliver. What they do in between is their own business. They've got to run a business. They got other cars. Some of the carriers have 10 cars, 3 to 10 cars. So they're moving around. We're not just delivering your car. We're renting a space with a freight mover. An auto transport vehicle. The kind you see on the highway all the time. So no one can promise you real-time updates. It's really up to the carrier to comply. But you can always call, like I said, if you have your single point of contact again. You should have a single point of contact, and whoever you hire, like myself, we're going to keep track of where that car is. And we should be able to contact the dispatcher or the driver to find out where they are. Just to give you an idea, a Florida to New York trip, usually takes 3 to 7 days. Again, they're picking up and dropping off. You're not going by yourself. And be prepared for delays, traffic on the highways, weather, high demand, snowbird season, high demand for transport, breakdowns, equipment failure. So you have to stay flexible. Everybody wants a guarantee, and the guaranteed pickup and guaranteed delivery. And this is a decentralized business where it's hard to control. So be flexible. Okay. So step 6, delivery. The day arrives. Someone's waiting for delivery. Someone has to take it. Either yourself or a neighbor, or someone has to be there to sign off on the bill of lading and the inspection process. So I recommend backup numbers, maybe a neighbor, backup plans, in case, the car gets delayed and you're not there. Again, there's no real you can try to make these deliveries precise, but they're not going to be in real world. So you always have to have a backup plan. Have a plan B. Talk to a neighbor. Get some backup numbers. I always ask for that stuff because we want the delivery to go smoothly, because if the carrier gets there and nobody answers the phone number at the address and they're not there, he's not going to wait around. And then you're going to be in trouble, because, you committed to getting it, and he's going to drive off with your car. He's not going to leave it there. It's not like UPS. They're not just going to dump it on your doorstep. Okay, so somebody's got to be there. And have a backup plan. And be flexible. Okay, so sometimes they're going to contact you, usually, half an hour to, probably the day before. A driver or dispatcher is going to call you to coordinate a drop-off. If you live in a tightly congested area, they're going to suggest probably like a parking lot nearby where they have room, because they got this big truck and they're going to have to move cars around. So you guys coordinate, what you want to do, and he'll give you instructions, and you can, give instructions. Maybe have a back way in, or maybe there's an easier way in, local knowledge. That's when you can share that when he calls you up. But eventually you'll meet up and the car will be there. And once again, somebody has to be there to greet them, to be there and to walk around the car like we did when we picked it up. He should be taking a lot of pictures for his records, for my records. If he's not, call your single point of contact and find out what's going on, because he should be taking pictures. Look for damage, obviously. Look for obvious damage. Look for subtle damage. The car might be dirty from the road. But if you see any obvious damage or any damage, make sure you don't sign off on that car until you note the damage. And again, contact your single point of contact, like myself, and the way I do it is I pay the driver, so he has agreed already to wait a day or three, to wait 3 days before he gets paid by me. So you want to notify me, let me know, and then that way we have a little leverage in getting your claim filed. But that would be delivery day. Finally, once you're okay, sign off on it. Like I said, 99. Every car so far, I haven't had a problem. You just sign it off, and you're done. He drives off to his next job. Just got to make sure somebody's there to collect your responsibility is make sure somebody's there to collect that car. Hey, so those are the steps. I can't emphasize more. The way I do business is single point of contact. From the quote through the delivery, you want one person that you can contact, you can get a hold of on the phone or a text in real time. Make sure you can reach them. Obviously, people are busy sometimes when they get back to you, but do they get back to you? So you want a single point of contact at the company that you do wind up hiring. In my case, very open about that. You can email, you can call, you can text. You'll know who I am. We'll have discussed a lot by now. We've been through a lot. If everything goes smoothly, you won't hear that much, which most things do. You don't hear that much from anybody. But it's good to know that when you do have a problem, you have someone to contact. And so now pretty much everything there is to know, an overview. Of course, from here on, I'm going to, dive deeper into specific topics. But this is a great overview for the customer and, what to expect and when you're expecting. And if you happen to be shipping your car soon, or you have any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer questions. You can go ahead and email me or call me at the information below. And I'll be happy to start the process of quoting you, a quote, and we can talk. I'm just going to give you straight advice, and if you're interested in learning more about the transport business in general, then go ahead and subscribe here. Or if you appreciate this video, go ahead and subscribe. You can leave a comment in the comment section down below. I'll try to read those too. Good luck, out there in the Wild West. You have any questions, concerns, go ahead and contact me. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.